Hi, I'm Lola. I'm here today with If He Dies, He Dies, and we've just got a few questions to ask them, find out a little bit more about this new band that's come out of Taupo. So I'm going to get you guys to introduce yourselves.
I'm Mike Mackey and I'm the bassist of If He Dies, He Dies, and do backing vocals.
And I'm Jason and I play rhythm guitar and vocals for, If He Dies, He Dies.
And you've got another guy here who's
Peter's not here today. That's unfortunate, we're a little heartbroken, but...
What does he play?
He plays the drum skins.
Awesome.
He
So he's
beats
a
things.
drummer, that's great.
Yeah, he's quite aggressive.
Cool. So for those of us that don't know much about you guys, can you tell us a little bit about where you are on your musical journey?
We are, well, we've currently played a couple of shows on the Skinny Hobos tour. We've just recorded our debut single, which is we're shooting a music video for this coming weekend, and that'll be dropping quite soon. And on top of that, we've also just got our clothing line that'll be being released in the next week as well. So
This
is it.
Checking it. Look at this shit, man. Yeah.
it is flash.
Dies style's coming out.
Yep.
I touched it before. It feels lush.
It's
not-
very lush.
It's not even screen printed, it's like in the fabric.
It's very, very good. Very good. No, there's plenty of different sizes for women, children, and kids. So
Yeah.
Pete's done a wonderful job on our clothing range, so we've got
Awesome.
heaps of clothing coming.
Yeah. We even baby suits.
Baby suits.
Baby suit.
Mosh crew. Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
Awesome. So when did you form your band?
Was January our first
January.
January, yeah. Pete put up a message on Facebook in the Taupo group asking if there's any people that wanted to play some stuff down-tuned and heavy and whatnot, and I replied, and he had Mackie already lined up without you knowing, I think.
Yeah, without me knowing you, told me that I was playing in a band.
Yeah, he's like, I've got a sweet bass player and all that stuff, and then hey. So yeah, we had a jam. I think we came out, we nutted out a couple of songs in our first jam session, and it felt pretty choice, so we kept doing it.
Very nice. And I have to ask the name. If He Dies, He Dies. Where did that come from?
Came from a Rocky movie. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, man.
It's like Last Cloud as well. It's one of their songs, so that's where we sort of.
Apparently, there's a bloody band in America with our name.
Yeah,
They're on Spotify. We have to hit them up about that.
but they're broke. They
Yeah.
broke up in 2008.
He's done his research. Cool. So now that we know a little bit about your background, what I'd really like to know about is your process for how you guys create music together, like songwriting, that type of thing.
It's just whoever's got ideas. I'll come up with some riffs and we'll bring it in together and we'll put our bits and pieces in, or Mackie will come up with some riff ideas, and
Pete,
Pete even as well does it.
Guitarist as well.
It's pretty collaborative. Like there's usually an instigator, and then the band kind of just goes off that and tries to make a song out of it.
Throwing ideas together, and we'll sit down and have a guitar session just with guitars, and Pete will come along and we'll sit down collectively and go through the bones of the song and come up with some good ideas, and then take it to a full band session and then throw lyrics over it afterwards.
Cool. So it sounds like you're kind of all in there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
collective. It's got to be. Everyone's got to be.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off having to, bring in complete songs and then having to show people complete songs. They don't really feel invested in that as much. So if you're actually part of the writing process, then you're more prouder of the songs, you're proud of your efforts in it. And if the song sucks, it's everyone's fault.
Yeah, so you all take the blame.
Yeah.
Cool. So with your practices, like how long would you say you spend practicing together individually across the week?
We were practicing, I think about 3.5 hours once a week. But we found with practicing longer, you aren't as productive as practicing in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
If you practice in a short amount of time, once a week, twice a week, doesn't really matter. But if you got less time together, then you're going to want to get more stuff done.
Yeah.
You're going to want to be more productive, whereas we're finding with the longer practices, you sort of start to muck around and, be idiots and...
Get a little bit complacent.
We're actually making jokes and stuff, and
Oh,
laughing.
corresponding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We would want to talk to each other.
We don't want to, no, we're all married men,
To each other.
playing our dad core music.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Okay, so management. Being in a band in this country is quite tricky to get out there, do all those things. I know there's big to-do lists. Do you have a manager or are you self-managed?
Self-managed at this stage.
Yeah.
And how does that work?
It's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It gets a little bit like who's doing what sometimes, but everyone's doing something.
Yeah.
So it's
a good thing about this group. Like we all pitch in.
Yeah.
So it's like a communal kind of thing?
Yeah, we've all got strengths.
Driving the boat?
We've, like Pete's real good at design stuff, and he knows a lot of people in the industry through his work with previous bands. And Mackie as well knows a lot of people from working with Slipping Tongue and all that stuff. And I know a lot of the website and magazine people from doing stuff with Primacy and Heathen Eyes and JMC. So we all kind of pitch in, and yeah, it seems to be working so far.
Yeah.
Very cool. So just a question for each of you. What was the first song you learnt?
First
For
song.
the band or?
No, for you when you were little one.
First song I learned. As bad as it sounds, I think it was Nothing Else Matters by Metallica.
It's better than mine,
Horrible,
man.
man. It was
Oh.
horrible.
What was yours?
My first song I learnt in guitar lessons was Take Me Home Country Roads.
Nice.
Take me boom brimba doom ba doom brimba doom ba. It's like,
So you can still play it then?
yeah. And I think this first song I taught myself to play was Song 2 by Blur. When someone showed me that a finger and a finger made a power chord, and I could go and it was wicked. And I wrote a song using that, not knowing that it was someone else's song, and I called it Chicken, and I can still play that.
Cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Mean.
pretty mean, bro.
Well done.
Yeah,
I think I know what the next If He Dies, He Dies song's going to be.
it's going to be called Rooster. No,
Rooster.
Chicken.
In.
called Cock.
Oh.
Another question for each of you. I know you've both got a lot of experience playing in different bands. Tell me about a time you've completely frozen on stage. If it's happened, it might not have, but something awful.
Recently. Fuck up. Man, I butchered that song. I thought I was in time. I thought I saw the count-in, counted it in, and I was totally out of time. And I got lost, and I couldn't find my place, and then I started singing in the wrong place, and and then everyone noticed where I was, even though I couldn't notice where they were, and we caught up with each other. But I was standing on stage going, I don't know what's happening. I'd lost the one, and I couldn't find the one anymore, and that was that. I fell over on stage in a dress once and twisted my ankle too. That was pretty embarrassing.
I fell through a stage once, playing with the Bleeders, supporting them, and I fell through the stage.
Like through the bottom of the
Through
stage?
the bottom of the stage, yeah.
Did you just and you were gone?
Just gone forever.
God.
Kept myself back up and kept playing, but
What
yeah, it
was
was
the
pretty
stage
bad.
made of?
What stage was that, bro?
Horrible plywood. There was a stage in, I think it was Whakatane somewhere. Yeah, it's good fun.
Awesome. Cool. So, you guys, you had told us what instruments you play. Do you play any other instruments?
Play guitar. Normal guitar, not basic bass. I can play guitar. And I can play a little bit of piano.
Would you like to show us?
No, I'd like to show you.
I can play a little bit of piano and guitar and a little bit of bass and a little bit of drums. I teach drums. I don't know why I teach drums, but I teach drums. When they're 12, they can't play, so I can at least show them how
not to play.
How not to play. Don't hold your sticks like this. You know. But yeah, I like piano. Piano's fun. Woo!
Elton John.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and it's real in tune too. I got a free piano off Trade Me, and it got it tuned up to C flat, and the strings started snapping, and here it is in our lounge, stuck where it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, when did you start getting interested in music and start kind of tootling around?
My dad used to play in a wedding covers band, so I used to go along and they used to play pubs and stuff. Yeah. Seeing him play on stage, I thought it'd be pretty cool, and gave it a go when I was picked up a guitar when I was 9 or 10. Yeah, started going from there. That was good.
Very cool.
I think for me, I started singing to mum and dad I used to imitate like Michael Jackson and Freddie Mercury all the time when I was a kid.
One glove.
Yeah, I'd be doing that little wrist flicky dicky thing you would do, but yeah, and I was real into that, and then I was into doing little showcases for mum and dad, and I'd pick up melodies on the piano from the radio and whatnot, and then I think after seeing the Bullet with Butterfly Wings video on TV one day, I thought I want to do that. That looks like fun. And it's been a constant struggle to try and even to achieve this.
So it has been fun then.
It's been great fun. It's a lot of fun and sweat and tears and swearing and fun, but yeah. Beer and trouble. There are some other things involved, but we don't do them so much anymore. And yeah, good times.
So with If He Dies, He Dies, I know that you all bring your own musical influences to the band. So what would be your individual influences and what has kind of seeped into the band?
Obviously Deftones. Deftones is a big one that I think we all share collectively. Snot. Probably a little bit of a Muir. Yeah, boogers. Yeah. Muir. Probably wouldn't say. I like the Novelist, but yeah, probably a bit too technical for what we play. Yeah.
For
No,
me.
definitely, yeah. Definitely those three.
Yeah. Influences, like I was massive in grunge and whatnot, and then but this band, I guess, like we kind of pinched from 2001 a little bit. We like big chunky riffs that are not that hard to play but fun to jump around to.
Fun for the crowd.
Yeah, so kind of like we've done kind of bands that are take a bit more pride in being a bit more technical and all that, but at the same time, like it's kind of fun to see people jump, and the crowd doesn't give a shit if you're playing a solo at 220 BPM or whatever. It's like they want something they can almost predict
bob their head.
and bob to. Like I'm not great guitarist, and I do what I do best, and that's chunky riffs, I guess. Yeah.
And so you guys have been going for quite a short time, haven't you? How long have you been around?
6 months, 7 months.
Almost 8 months.
Almost 8 months.
And
Yeah.
what have been your achievements so far?
We set up our first show at the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo, and we got the Hobos down and Silence the City down from Auckland for that show. Hoping we'd pull 50 to 100 people. Got about 300 people rocking out that, so that was pretty awesome.
Almost at full capacity.
Yeah, that was mind blowing. So
the Great Lakes sector, that's a pretty big task, isn't it?
It held it had 300 or 400 seats.
350. And
Yeah.
they had to take 20 seats out for where we put our sound desk. So
Yeah. So we got it packed out. They ran out of booze after the second band. I think they ran out of booze, so had to sort that out. And then, but yeah, it was fantastic. Honestly, for the first gig we'd done together, everything after that has been fun, but has been a lot less people, and it has been like we're like, oh, we want to do that again. So we'll be doing that again.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that might be one of your aspirations.
Well, we are talking about doing another show here in Taupo.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the next month or two. Pete, our drummer's got a knee problem at the moment, which he's getting rehab for. So we're sort of just writing and getting this video sorted, and just sort of put the single out here. And then we'll probably have a single party, I'd say, in Taupo will be our next one. So aim towards.
Are you going to call it a single party?
Singles party.
Singles party. Right, yeah.
If he dies, he dies. Singles party. Yeah. But I mean, and we're hoping to get. We're in talks with some cool acts. Not necessarily like heavy rock or metal bands, but just some bands that are creating some buzz at the moment that we want to, jump in with, and are keen to jump in with us. So we're stoked that people actually are checking us out at this stage with no music released.
Cool. And what other aims do you have as a band? Like, where would you like to see yourselves heading?
International support slots.
Yeah.
That's
International sports.
all I really care about these days.
Yeah, it's fun shows.
Yeah.
Good crowds.
Yeah.
You know.
Trying to get some festivals and stuff. Just working upwards rather than pottering about in the same spot.
Yeah.
So recording and releasing some cool music, making some videos, playing the shows. Hopefully that if we can grease our way into the right circles, then we get some good shows out of it. And yeah.
I know. Also, we just want to sort of try and build that music scene in Taupo that we sort of set out to do. We all found it very hard when we all first moved back to Taupo or into Taupo.
There's not a huge
There's
amount
not a
going
big
on.
music scene here, and people are really gagging for it now. There's heaps of people that want it.
The response from even older people at their gig, people were like, "Oh my god, that was an amazing night, you've got to do it again next week." And it's like, oh my god. No, not next week.
Not next week.
That was stressful enough.
A lot of organising. It'll be good. That's I guess the end game is to hopefully inspire some younger ones to get up there and do it, because I'm getting a few grey hairs on my beard now.
And we want to get more touring bands through Taupo as well. We want to kind of open it up so people don't think like you drive through it, you don't stop. And I know it's like the most beautiful town to live in and all that, but as far as music destination, it's got very little buzz. So
there is good venues out there too.
Yeah.
Great Lake Centre and Spa Hotel.
Absolutely.
Two of the good ones. So it would be good to sort of see more shows going to.
Yep.
Especially big shows.
It would be lovely to see.
Twould. Twould be lovely. Promoters, if you're watching this,
Please.
bring it on down.
Get your shit together.
If Devil Skin got over 600 people here, and we got, with the Hobos, 300+ people here, bring those other bands in.
Do it.
Cool.
Yes.
Along those lines, just talking about how it's been quite rough getting, because there's not much of a music scene here. So what other challenges have you found in getting a band out there?
Getting people that want to get on board. We've had awesome support from our sponsors. We've got Two Rooks who are singing us out of heaps of cola, and Black Diamond Tattoo Studio as well, which sorted us out some cool work.
They've been real great.
But as far as getting the venues, believing that we could actually get some people there that would pay money to get in, like people want to do a free originals gig, but they don't want to go $20 on the door, kind of thing. But yeah, we're getting there, and the first gig was a success, which will kind of point that out to them, hopefully, and we will persevere and win.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys have been fantastic. Where can we find your music?
YouTube.
Yep, YouTube, there's some live videos. We'll be putting out our video debut single coming out in the next, I'd say, month and a half.
Yep.
We've already got it all recorded, all the artwork's all done, and we're just shooting a music video, and that sucker will be online. So
Yeah.
Are we allowed to know what it's called?
it's called The Medusa.
Yeah. So so we've got some t-shirts that are available, which are amazing. We've got a music video coming out with the
upcoming
single.
shows?
We do have a show booked, but because we are in between guitar players at the moment, we are hoping that the magic man will come through and work out for the whole thing. We've got trying to do that at the moment, and it's going well.
Yeah.
But we don't count our chickens.
Yeah. It's going good. It's going good.
So yeah, but I mean, it's been a long struggle. We had a long time trying to find guitarists, and then we had my brother Matt come in, which we've just parted ways with. And then so we're trying out another cat, and hopefully it keeps on going well.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Good.
That was If You Dies, You Dies.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, boom.
Boom.